Hey everybody, one of the great things about sharing ideas with others is that sometimes people can put the pieces together in ways that weren't perhaps clear to the person who was formulating the ideas. It's just like when you're trying to put together a puzzle with some friends, and you can't find that one piece, and then your friend reaches over and here it is. And I did a video a couple days back called The Road Ahead, in which I was basically attempting to offer some advice, something I rarely do, to a person who asked. Namely, a person in their 20s who was asking about the road ahead in their life, whether to stay with a person that they're with whose interests are different, but whom they love, or whether they should go off on their own and strike out on the life that they envision for themselves without them. And I tried to not answer the question. Yes, indeed. I tried to avoid giving any direct guidance because each of us has that burden as an adult. We all have that burden to carry of our own. But I did try to share my own story. Anyway, after that long video, I was looking through the comments and I found some really amazing comments from user Z Highlander. Z Highlander made the following point, and I'll try to summarize. Although, read their comments. Please read their comments in the original video, which will be put as a video response below. And I'm going to include. I hope they don't mind. Z Highlander won't mind. I'm going to include the sum total of their comments in the description section for this video as well. I really think that the points that were made there are really worth reading, and I'm going to try to elaborate on them, or just simply state them. I don't think I could elaborate any better than they did. Z Highlander did. Anyway, here was the point. Z Highlander made the point that instead of worrying about whether interests were aligned, perhaps the more important thing was whether character was aligned. And I think that's an amazing and so important distinction. I agree completely, Z Highlander. It's one thing to find somebody, as Z Highlander said, it's one thing to find someone who shares your interest in adventure or surfing, or shares your desire to be a homebody, whatever the case may be. Let's cross the street. But it's quite another thing to find someone who shares your deep convictions and your values regarding a life in general. Now that is the far more important thing to have alignment on. And now that after reading Z Highlander's comments, it all fell into place for me. That's why I think that's one of the reasons that Yumiko and I have been together so long. Whereas we do not share interests in terms of our lives. As I said in the other video, we are very different types of people. However, we are in complete alignment. We are in sync, lockstep, when it comes to values and how we approach the world and how we make our decisions. I can say with confidence that Yumiko can speak for me on any ethical or value-minded subject, and likewise, I think maybe a little less so because I'm such a scatterbrain. But I think she trusts me implicitly. I think she trusts me with the reins, having the hand on the wheel of guidance in that capacity, as I do her. If either of us, we are a team in that capacity, and I see now through Z Highlander's comments that is the aligning, gluing factor that has held us together all these years, and it is the thing that probably attracted me to her so much. In addition to I thought she was a hottie, I still do. I see it all now. It was the values, and the values. And the other point that Z Highlander made was that he or she, I don't know the gender, I'm sorry, made an inference that the values hadn't, or reiterated what I said in the first video, that our values had not changed, that we had much, that people don't change very much, and that's true. What's happened instead is our values haven't changed much, Yumiko and I. What they have done is become stronger over the years, and in becoming stronger, that has strengthened the bond between us, the glue that binds us. And I think I'm certain I'll be with Yumiko for the rest of my life, and hopefully she feels the same way. I like to think so, and that strengthening bond is certainly an important factor in that. So, I'm going to run with Z Highlander's comment, and as a really wise expression of the factors to look for when they're trying to find a partner, and to determine if a match is one that can stand the test of time. It's not as important to know if we're aligned in terms of wanting to go surfing, or loving to play cribbage, or wanting to adventure, or wanting to be a homebody. That stuff is really irrelevant to the point. The point, of course, is are you going to be arm in arm with the big picture? Because marriage and long-term relationships are all about weathering the trials. Because the trials, they come. The trials, that's a topic for another video altogether. Well, I should call it that. The trials, they come, and they never end. That's the way life is. So if you can be linked arm in arm as you go through them, all the better. There you go. Thank you, Z Hollander, for your wisdom, and for the wonderful. I think you basically summarized. You've said it so well, and I'm so grateful to have learned from you. And I hope that the person that was asking these questions initially will find maybe a route to the answer that they're seeking as well. Thank you all, and have a great day. And thank you, Z Highlander, for sharing.